By the third week of January, 80% of New Year's resolutions have already failed. If you have already slipped up, or if you are staring at a list of goals that suddenly feel impossible, I have good news for you. You are not lazy, and you don't lack willpower. You are fighting against millions of years of evolutionary biology that is designed to keep you safe, predictable, and unchanging. The reason you fail isn't a character flaw. It is a neurological mechanism called the fresh start effect that backfired. We treat January 1st like a magical portal, believing that a change in the calendar will automatically trigger a change in our personality. Psychologically, we separate our old self from our new self, assuming the new self will have infinite energy and discipline. But when you wake up, you are walking around with the same brain structure you had in December. This disconnect creates a massive expectation gap that sets the stage for a neurological crash before you even start. Here is the chemistry behind the failure. When you sit down and write, "I will lose 20 pounds," or "I will learn a new language," your brain releases a massive spike of dopamine right then and there. This is known as reward prediction error. You get the chemical high of the achievement just by imagining it. Your brain feels satisfied as if you have already done the work, which ironically kills your motivation to actually go to the gym the next morning. Your brain is a battleground between two distinct areas: the prefrontal cortex, which handles long-term planning and logic, and the basal ganglia, which controls habits and emotions. The prefrontal cortex is like a battery. It drains quickly when you force yourself to do things you hate. When you rely solely on willpower, you are asking a tiny, easily exhausted part of your brain to fight against the massive, ancient power of your emotional brain. The emotional brain always wins in the long run. Scientists call this false hope syndrome. We tend to set goals that are too big, too fast, and too radical. When you try to change your diet, sleep schedule, and work habits all at once, your brain's amygdala perceives this radical change as a threat to your survival. It triggers a stress response, flooding your body with cortisol. Suddenly, your self-improvement feels like physical pain, and your brain begs you to return to your old, safe habits to stop the stress. After the initial excitement fades, usually around day 14, you enter what James Clear calls the valley of disappointment. This is when the dopamine from the idea of the goal is gone, but the dopamine from the result hasn't arrived yet. You are putting in maximum effort for zero visible reward. From an evolutionary standpoint, expending energy without an immediate return is a bad strategy, so your brain screams at you to conserve energy and quit. You have probably been told to visualize your success. Surprisingly, some neuroscience studies suggest this can actually hurt your progress. When you constantly visualize the finish line, the perfect body, the $1 million, your brain relaxes because it thinks it has already achieved safety. Instead of visualizing the result, you need to visualize the struggle. Visualizing yourself overcoming the pain of the workout actually prepares the nervous system for the reality of the task. The biggest enemy of new habits is friction. If your goal is to run in the morning, but your shoes are in the closet and your clothes aren't ready, that tiny amount of friction is enough for your basal ganglia to say no. The brain is an energy-conserving machine. To hack this, you must reduce the activation energy required to start. If you want to read more, place the book on your pillow. You have to make the good habit the path of least resistance. So, how do we fix this? You must detach your dopamine from the outcome and attach it to the effort. This is what Dr. Andrew Huberman calls learning to enjoy the friction. You need to consciously tell yourself that the pain of the effort is the reward itself. When you start getting satisfaction from the grind rather than the trophy, you become unstoppable because the reward is under your control every single second. Stop trying to run a marathon. Instead, use the 2-minute rule. Your only goal should be to do the habit for 2 minutes. Put on your running shoes and step outside. That's it. You can come back in. The goal isn't the exercise. The goal is mastering the art of showing up. You are rewiring your neural pathways to accept this new identity without triggering the amygdala's fear response. You can optimize the workout later. First, you must standardize the habit. True behavioral change happens at the identity level, not the outcome level. Instead of saying, "I want to quit smoking," say, "I am not a smoker." Instead of, "I want to write a book," say, "I am a writer." When you change your language, you change the feedback loop in your brain. Your brain hates cognitive dissonance. It will work hard to make your actions match the identity you have claimed for yourself. This year, stop relying on motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are temporary. Rely on systems and biology. Understand that your brain wants to keep you safe and lazy, and you have to outsmart it by starting small, celebrating the effort, and being patient with the valley of disappointment. You don't need a new year to change your life. You just need to understand the operating system inside your head.